Hello, everyone. It's the 14th of July. I do want to say one thing right up front. Bruce Gerstein notified me night before last that he is in the hospital and he has pneumonia, and that's not good. So please pray for him. Welcome, everybody. Today's theme is the power of taking action. I believe Mike came up with that one too. So me and Dan just sit and wait for Mike to tell us what to do. But anyway, no, it was very powerful, and when you get it, it makes you. We do it early, like in the morning, gives you all day to think about some items you could put together. And a lot of this stuff, I haven't even talked to Mike and Dan about it, but a lot of this stuff we not probably, I know all three of us have used it, of taking action, even when it's not comfortable. I wrote down some things that I wanted to make sure I covered. Like a lot of people have ideas and that's all they are. I have an idea. Doesn't mean squat. Okay, yeah, I have an idea too, but you got to turn it into results. You can plan all day, but nothing changes until you move. Action transforms thoughts into outcome. And example, even with health. Yes, I lost weight, but I never got my big butt out of the chair. So I was out of shape. But I lost weight. It's not working that way, right? I don't know. There he is. Mike's not having the best internet. He lives out in paradise. That's what I'm going to say. But anyway, also, every step forward, you start to build confidence. And when you do action, and this is from experience, everybody. I'm not telling you something that's pie in the sky. The more you do, the more confidence you have, the fear kind of starts to drop. I remember walking into a meeting and there wasn't nothing but money sitting there. And I mean people with a lot of money. And I remember telling myself as I'm walking up to the head, because I have to tell them what I did with $30 million. And first, it finally hit me. They were all 12 years old one day. They were all young kids. They got their fears. They got things that nobody knows. They're just like me, except they got a bigger bank account. And it helped me. But when I went to face them, because people were saying, you got to give a presentation. You better. If I thought about it like that, I'd never be able to do it. The time was, what if it was 2:00 in the afternoon? I just marched right in there, walked right up to the front, said my spiel, asked if they had any questions, and it went really well. Now, no doubt, my knees were slamming together and it wasn't easy, but the next time was easier because I built confidence. You don't need to have it all figured out. See, people don't want to I'm not going to do that because I don't know all the pieces yet. Freaking go for it. Just freaking go for it. The proven fact, Edison, if he knew that this wire and tungsten and a vacuum tube glass, I can make a light bulb. If he knew that the first second, it wouldn't have took him 1,000 times to find out what doesn't work. Right? I mean, it's the way it is. It's life. But the people that do it, it feels good to do something. All of you can do it. I don't care what it is. You want to separate your dreaming about something and doing it. Now, there was many times, I wish I could do, I want to do that. And I didn't. And I wish I did. But now looking back, I learned from that. And now I don't do that. If there's something I really want to do, I go after it until I get it done. If you make a mistake, it's a lesson. And if you look at it that way, every time you make a mistake, like Mike said yesterday, made a lot of mistakes. I made tons of mistakes, more than anybody I know. But every time I did, I never, well, not never, but most of the time, I never did that mistake again. And that's how you learn and you move forward. And I read a quote, and here's what it said: imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time. Start small, start now. And I made a video out of it, and I'll play that after these you guys are done. I'm going to turn it over to Dan.
Well, thanks. Hello, everybody, and this is a very good topic. I like it because it helps us to think about ways we can challenge ourselves to take action. Maybe get out of our comfort zone a little bit, make some changes to some bad habits, and get some good ones going. And as I mentioned last week, this format that we have going here, the three of us, is designed to help all of us move forward. We think of content every day, and this content is content that might help us all to improve a little bit and make suggestions that might help us get thinking about ways we can change certain things and improve elements of our lives. I know that it helps us. It helps the three of us because we continually get us thinking about how we can get better. And none of us here are experts about everything and all of the topics that we talk about. But let me tell you something. Based on the hard work that we've put into just the businesses that we've been in.
Oh, I tagged him. I flicked him.
Is that, Marty, are you muted? No, wait. Based on that hard work, we've learned from our mistakes, as Marty was talking about, and we've developed the confidence that it takes to be successful and continue to take positive steps forward. Now, I'm gonna have some fun here and tell you a little bit about a guy I met years ago. His name's Jim Rohn, and I know a lot of you have heard of Jim Rohn. He's an amazing business philosopher. Now, he passed away a few years ago, but I did have the pleasure of meeting him and listening to him in a business meeting. And I'd highly recommend his books and audio tapes. And I have a little booklet. I have a little booklet here that I got from him when I saw him at that meeting in Steamboat Springs. And it's titled Treasury of Quotes. And I'd like to just share a few of these quotes of his that apply to the topic that we're talking about today. And just after I read these things, just kind of think about them a little bit. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to read them from this little booklet. A good objective of leadership is to help those who are doing poorly to do well, and to help those who are doing well to do even better. If you share a good idea long enough, it will eventually fall on good people. Learn to help with more than just their jobs. Help them with their lives. And I think that if you think about what Mr. Mufara has been doing with us, it's not a job to him. He's helping all of us with our lives. Let's see here. I have a few more. Nourish the mind like you would your body. The mind cannot survive on junk food. Hang on, I got these fat fingers. Okay. We all need lots of powerful long-range goals to help us get past the short-term obstacles. I love that one. It's a great one. If you are not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. I like that one. I used to say, I sure hope things will change. Then I learned that the only way things are going to change is for me is when I change. We generally change ourselves for one of two reasons: inspiration or desperation. All right. You must constantly ask yourself these questions. Who am I around? What are they doing to me? What have they got me reading? What have they got me saying? Where do they have me going? What do they have me thinking? And most important, what do they have me becoming? Then ask yourself the big question, is that okay? So we have to constantly think about the people that we're surrounding ourselves with on a regular basis. And let the views of others educate you and inform you, but let your decisions be a product of your own conclusions. In other words, do your own research. Dig deep into topics that people are talking to you about. The goal of effective communication should be for the listener to say, "Me too," versus "So what?" So we're sitting here talking. We're talking to you tonight, and we'd like to inspire you enough to say, "Well, me too. I'd like to do that." Yeah, that's great. Instead of what Dan was saying, "Well, so what?" I got one or two more, and that'll do it. One person caring about another represents life's greatest value. And I think we see a lot of that in our community. Now, this is the final one. My suggestion would be to walk away from the 90% who don't and join the 10% who do. And I think we all know what that means. I think that, only 10% of the people do 90% of the work, so join that 10%. And, that's it. I just wanted to read those quotes because they're inspiring. And he has a whole booklet of them, and he has audio tapes, and I just grab them every now and then and look through them. And I think if we think about things like that, we might look at taking some action in our life that could be very powerful for the future. Mike, take it away.
Yeah, no, thanks, Dan. That was really, really good, Dan. I'm pumped. Today's topic, the power of action. And I know when most people hear that, they understand that. If you want to be successful, really in anything, you have to take action. And the question I get is, okay, I want to do that. I want to be successful. I want to do the things I need to do the things online that I want to do. And it's okay, what do I do? When do I do it? And how do I do it? I've got some really, really good news for you. You're already taking action. You're here. Believe me, that is a step forward. That is taking action. And when you listen to Marty and Dan and hopefully myself, you do pick up things. Now, when I talk about taking action, it is a process. It really is. It just doesn't happen automatically. And I want to give a quick example, and most of you have heard this story. It's the gentleman that broke the 4-minute mile the first time, okay? I forget what his name was. But back when he was doing this, yeah, Dan did that. Back when he was doing this, the science.
Mike, it was Roger Bannister.
I know, and I won't remember that, Marty. But yeah, you're right, Bannister. But the science behind running and what people were doing, the science said if a human being ever ran a sub 4-minute mile, they would die. That's why you have to be careful who you listen to. That's literally what they were. And can you imagine, why didn't anybody break a 4-minute mile? Well, they thought they were going to die. They're not going to do that. But Bannister was the one individual. He was a runner. It's what he did. And his specialty was the mile run. And he started the process in his head. Yeah, he trained. You have to do that. But he started the process in his mind. He said, okay, I can run a 1/4 mile in a little less than a minute. If I can run the other 3/4 of a mile at a minute, I'm below 4 minutes for that mile. And he started to work on that. He did the training and he honed his mind. He would go out and he'd run a 1/2 mile, and each quarter he would do below 1 minute. And he's going, well, I'm still here. I still feel really, really good. I think I can break that 4-minute mile. And it all started in his mind. And then he trained for it. And this is the process of taking action. And his last action, well, not his last action, but the action that fulfilled what he was thinking about, he ran a sub 4-minute mile. I think it was 3 minutes and 58 seconds. First human in the world to ever do that. And guess what? He didn't die. In fact, he lived to run many, 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 many more races. After that, because someone had done it, obviously a lot of other people came behind him and ran sub 4-minute miles. I think it was 26 in the next 2 or 3 months ran sub 4-minute miles. It really was amazing. And when you take the risk out of it and you find clarity, all of a sudden you get certainty. Now, what do? We're here, we're online, we're trying to develop a business, to develop income online. Has that ever been done? Oh yeah, I think it's been done several times, more than several times. Are there people around that can share what they've done, their experience, what training they went through to develop the skills to be able to do that online? And I'm speaking very, very generically, guys. Anybody, you can do this with anything if you get the right mindset, if you understand that there is certainty with what you're doing, and then clarity comes. You don't have to do all the actions at one time. But you do have to go through the process. You have to start somewhere. Most of you are starting right here, and you've been doing this a long time, picking up things from a lot of different people, really, really good stuff. And then obviously, as we move forward into another business, what's that business going to look like? I think we're going to know that and be able to spread the word throughout the world, what's going on, how it's happening, and how it will benefit you. And then the steps necessary, the actions necessary for you to take in order to do the things you want to do online, to live that dream, to get into a place where you have financial independence, security, and you really do have liberty and freedom. That's what comes with finances. So when we start to talk about the power of action, it is really, really powerful. What Marty said, what Dan said, absolutely 100% spot on. But it is a process. You guys have already started. Why have you started? Because you're winners. And I believe over the course of the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, that's going to come to fruition in ways that most of us never even thought about. So we're in a very, very unique position. Continue to think about the power of actions. And we're going to have insight for you. Marty had some today. Dan had some today. Hopefully I had a little bit today. And as you learn more and the actions become easier to take, you're going to find that the business that you do develop, and again, this is generic. This will work with any business. But when the business gets started and you actually start taking action with an understanding of what you need to do, all of a sudden, things start to go your way. And I can tell you, so can Marty, so can Dan, that's a really, really neat place to be when things start to go your way. And I believe that's going to happen sooner than later. And when it does, yeah, we can all talk about the happy dance and all those other things that we're going to be doing. But yeah, keep busy, keep engaged, and keep the actions coming. And from there, yeah, I think we're going to hit it out of the park. Marty, back to you.
Very good, Mike. And
Hopefully
that was very good. No problem at all. What you and Dan said is physically people were told you can't do it. So a lot of people thought, well, why? I'll stay over 4 minutes. The cool thing, after you said that, Mike, I looked it up, and Roger Bannister beat the record under 4 minutes in 1954, 3:59.4. Within a year, Bannister's record, several others followed, proving it was
physiologically.
That's it. Can be done. By 1975, 200 men did it. By 2000, 700 people ran under 4 minutes. Today, 1,800 male athletes worldwide have officially run a mile in under 4 minutes. The achievement proved that don't always listen to what you hear, and your mind's a lot stronger. When you put limits and you believe the limit, you live the limit. And he didn't. And that's so funny. Well, he did it, and everybody's going, well, it can be done. It always could have been done. There was probably people in Africa doing it and they didn't even know it. But no, that
Actually, Marty, if there's a Bible verse, and in the Bible verse, there was a gentleman who did that way back when. He was a terrific runner, and one night he ran 26 miles and beat the horses where he was going. So that's happened in the past. It's just in recent history, 1950, they just didn't think it could be done. Wow. They're wrong.
I'm going to play a video, and then you guys think about if you have anything other to add. And this was a good one. I really enjoyed this one. And like I said, that's one sentence and all the things people, and remember everybody, we're doing this to keep you motivated about, listen, I believe what we're part of. We don't know what's coming. We're not sure, and that's okay. We know who we're with. We know Mr. Mufara cares about everyone. And whatever's happening, I'll tell you this. If nothing happened, I learned a lot. It helped me grow. Do I need money? Yes. But I believe now with all the tools and the thought and building relationship with people that everything's possible, really. And with God, absolutely everything's possible. So let me play this short clip, which was inspired by Mike, actually, because I couldn't think of anything this morning. But anyway, here you go.
The power of taking action. Ever felt stuck? Like your dreams are just out of reach? Thinking, planning, hoping, it all means nothing without one thing. Action. It's the only thing that turns your vision into reality. Every step you take builds confidence, momentum, and clarity, even the small ones. Don't wait to feel ready. Start scared. Start messy. Just start. Because the only thing standing between you and your dream is the action you haven't taken yet. Take action today.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, ring the bell.
And I want to add some AI news for the 14th of July.
AI headline news for July 14th, 2025. Malaysia tightens AI chip export rules. Malaysia now requires permits for exporting, transshipping, or transiting U.S. origin high-performance AI chips, cracking down on illicit technology flows. Reuters. Musk opposes Tesla XAI merger. Elon Musk firmly states he doesn't support merging Tesla and his XAI startup, seeking separate paths despite previous funding ties. Reuters. Siemens and SAP urge EU reg reform. CEOs from Siemens and SAP want the EU to revise its AI Act, calling current rules burdensome and innovation inhibiting. Reuters. OpenAI launching AI browser. OpenAI is preparing to roll out a ChatGPT-style AI browser in the coming weeks, challenging Google Chrome's dominance. Reuters. Moonshot AI open sources Kimi K2. China's Moonshot AI released Kimi K2, an open-source model with strong coding and agentic capabilities to rival top global open models. Reuters. 5. Reasons why it matters. 1. Global chip controls reflect ongoing tech security tensions. Corporate divergence shows caution in tying AI with auto ventures. 3. EU policy reform push signals Europe's struggle to balance safety and innovation. 4. Browser entry from OpenAI marks escalation in the platform wars. 5. Open source growth from Chinese players accelerates AI democratization. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, ring the bell.
There we go. There goes Mike.
There
Do
goes
you have anything you want to add?
No, just the fact that I mean, I think taking action just means that we continue to challenge ourselves, and the other thing is that we can't do it by ourselves. You know, we need each other, and we need to continually motivate each other because we continually learn from each other, and I think that's very, very important that we can all learn from each other and keep ourselves inspired and motivated.
Absolutely. And like in that clip where it says, you know, do it sloppy if you have to, do it crazy, but just do it.
Right.
Just
Right.
go ahead and go. Mike, you got anything you want to add?
No, my internet's been coming in and out, Marty. So I'll just leave it at listen to these two guys. They have a lot of wisdom. I do, and it helps.
Okay, everybody, we're going to go. Thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow and come up with another topic. Everything to give you some content about moving forward in business and life and everything else that we can to help out. It helps you. It helps us. It helps me when I do help others, without a doubt. Anyway, thank you.